Hello, everyone. My name is Anthony Ebert, and today I'm going to be talking about the CSOE lesson plan template provided by Alliant International University. This is my first time using Veed, so if you have any tips or tricks, please let me know. If you notice anything after the video, it would be really helpful in the replies, but let's go ahead and give this a shot. All right, so just going over the lesson plan template that was provided to us, the first thing I noticed is that this is a lot of information. You can see that it is 8 straight pages of nothing but information, which is amazing. Okay. In comparison to things that I've looked at in the past, this is just a random example that I pulled up from Western Governors University. This is typically what I'm used to seeing when it comes to writing a formal lesson plan. You can see, a lot of the boxes are the same, but it's so barren. There is not a lot of instruction or telling me exactly what the instructors are looking for, what kind of goals or achievements are expected of me. So, like anticipatory sets. So, like starting out, this is all just blank. If you give this to me, it takes me a really long time to go in and kind of fill these things out just because of the fact that there's nothing there. Really is just boxes with titles, and I find that very difficult to work with. So seeing this template was really amazing, just because you've got the titles that are broken down into like what that title means, and then it's further broken down into like content, process, product, and then even those are further extrapolated on with even more questions to really get you thinking about what you are doing with that lesson, what the end goal is, what objectives you're meeting, and things like that. So this is really, really cool. I really appreciate that. Some issues I've always run into when it comes to formal lesson planning is first and foremost would be timing. This template is set up so that most of the things are 10 minutes suggested, 10 minutes suggested, so on and so forth. And I think in total it comes out to about 65 minutes, which is awesome. But most of the classes that I teach actually run for an hour and a half, somewhere in that ballpark. So it's always been kind of a difficult thing for me to stretch these things out and try and pack information into them without getting too long, especially because I teach about 6 classes of the same exact thing over and over again. So timing is a really, really big, crucial aspect because I have to somehow manage to keep all 6 classes on the same pace. So yeah, that's a difficult aspect for me. And then the other two things that I find really difficult are actually right here on page 2, right next to each other. So diverse learners and mixed abilities. I ran into this issue a lot last year where I had students who were Spanish only speakers, and translating a lot of my lessons into Spanish took a lot of time, but it's kind of necessary because it's the only way that they can interact with the information. So this is something I've struggled with a lot in the past, mostly just in regards to English learners, because a decent portion of my school is Spanish speaking only. Everything else is a little easier to work around because it's in the same language. But yeah, so that is something I've always struggled with. I'm really ready to get more hands-on with formal lesson plan and kind of figuring out what is a better way to go about that. And the third and final thing that I've always found challenging when it comes to lesson plans is differentiation, right? Like I said, I teach 6 classes of the same thing, but each class learns a little bit differently, right? Some classes do better with lectures, other classes do better with hands-on. And so I kind of have to like wiggle the same lesson plan around different learning styles, which has always been really weird and hard when it comes to formal lesson plans because you set out like this big structure of what you're doing and how you're following it, but then you have to remember differentiation and like you have to kind of tailor it to your audience, I guess. So yeah, pretty much just timing, catering to diverse learners, so the mixed abilities of my class, and the differentiation, so switching it up between classes, are all things that I've run into in the past and the big challenges that I've found. But this template is super duper cool. I am really excited to get working with it just because of how much information is here. I don't feel like a deer in headlights, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, guys.